Marcos and I were at originally, you know, that was sparking protests all across the country. But if violence breaks out here, this sets a precedent for all these other big cities across the country. And a lot of people are going to follow in those steps, just like they did back in August with the hands up, don't shoot thing. Now, once they start burning buildings down and they start attacking people who are innocent, walking up and down the street because of the color of their skin, it's going to happen everywhere. We're going to have a huge problem. And then you're going to see martial law just being locked down everywhere in all these major cities. It's going to be crazy. You know, people need to prepare for the worst, expect the best, but at the same time, you know, just be smart about it. I mean, you know, being out here today, this is a pretty busy area. We were out here yesterday driving around. There's a lot of people out walking around. Today, it's pretty dead. I think a lot of people are taking the threat seriously, and they're waiting to see what happens tonight.
What about the bad weather? I was hoping bad weather, when the verdict came out, would keep people from going crazy.
That's not going to happen at all. The people are still showing up. There's still talk on Twitter. You know, I found a lot of the people who organize a lot of these protests for the area and coordinate a lot of that stuff. And from the, you know, the chatter I've seen on Twitter, not one person is going to be stopped by the weather whatsoever. They're determined to come out here, have their voices be heard, and if they have to, in their opinions, get violent with the police and burn down buildings to get their point across, the snow will not stop them.
Well, I'll say this. I've studied the law. When the police shoot our reporters rubber bullets, that's criminal. That's a felony attack on the First Amendment. But when so-called demonstrators on Twitter and Facebook say they're going to kill cops or burn things down, that is felonies as well. We need to get our reporters to go look at those. I've seen those myself, do articles, and say, why aren't the police arresting people calling for violence? Because you have a First Amendment until you say, let's all meet up at the corner of, you know, 6th Street and Lavaca and you know, attack stuff, hypothetically, in Austin. I mean, if I said that, they should hear that. It's probable cause. You don't even need a warrant. Come arrest me. I mean, if I got on air and said, go kill people, go burn things down, let's go.
Yeah, they would have been knocking on the door.
Well, that's what you should do. I mean, if I see somebody organizing to go kill somebody, I'm going to call the police, or I'm going to, I mean, this is outrageous that they let Al-Qaeda and all these other groups, I notice, ISIS recruit on Facebook and Twitter, but our stuff gets censored.
But the funny thing is, though, is there, you know, we've got this whole, you know, buzz in the air that the KKK is going to be out here, and that's another thing to incite violence and to piss off a lot of these people. You should
go out, and I forgot that angle. Ask locals if they know that most of the time these KKK demonstrations,
they're all FBI agents and stuff.
You can print off like Orlando Sentinel, FBI, you know, Klan leader, FBI leader. It's not like they're in the group to watch them. They organize, they lead them, and it turns out the entire leadership will be feds or Southern Poverty Law Center to get stuff going.
If you Google the man who's saying he is the head of the KKK area around here, Frank Ancona, the first two things that pop up on Google are his name on the FBI death list.
What does that mean?
People that are no longer alive that the FBI is deemed.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy from Missouri. Yeah, it turned out he was an informant. I saw that, but also a white supremacist leader, and he's supposedly dead.
And yes, he's on the FBI kill or dead list. And then, you know, some of these other people that have popped up, you know, the Anonymous group put out a list of all the KKK members they found in this area. A lot of them are supposedly police officers, firefighters.
Well, see, that's the problem with Anonymous. Anonymous is anonymous. So sometimes it's good people, sometimes it's bad people. Anybody can use that name.
Yeah.
Look, folks, the PSYOP's in. We're trying to de-escalate the situation. Other people are trying to escalate the situation. The fact that there aren't arrests being made of these violent Facebook and Twitters is simply outrageous. These are terroristic threats. These are organizing criminal activity. This is racketeering. It's illegal. And it makes good protesting look bad, is why the feds are in it. I guarantee you it's the Justice Department quarterbacking this. We're going to skip this one network break so we can talk to Jakari Jackson and go to phone calls ahead of John Rappaport. Rhonda in Hawaii, Angela, Shamus, Ryan, and Indigo Kid. We'll go to all of you. Thank you, Joe Biggs, for your courage to be there reporting this. You guys stay dry and stay focused and just keep filing reports. Great job.
If you need somebody in Mexico, I'm there.
You want to go to Mexico?
I'll go anywhere.
Well, it's going on the next few days. I got to decide, but I know you like that. But you don't want to go to Mexico City. They say there's nothing more hellish, but it's also pretty in some ways. But we'll figure it out, Joe. Great job. Let me talk to Jakari. Thank you. All right, that's Joe Biggs from combat in Afghanistan and Iraq. to Ferguson and the border and the rest of it. One of our investigative journalists there on the ground. I could see his teeth are chattering. So I want to get this interview with Jakari done and let them get back to a warm area. We could do it from the hotel rooms, but it looks better to have them out there in the snow-covered park across from the courthouse. Two great reporters and a great team. People keep asking why I send Jakari and Joe out together with Josh Owens when he can go. He's not there right now. It's because they work as a great team. Jakari, please don't freeze to death, my friend.
I'm doing my best, Alex. I'm pretty layered up, but it is really cold out here. It's Jakari Jackson reporting from Clayton, Missouri. Like Joe said, if you're just now joining us, we're right in front of the courthouse where they expect to hear the verdict on Officer Wilson. There were some people out here protesting earlier today, and I don't want everybody to lose the fact that there are peaceful protesters out here, peaceful demonstrators. They just recently finished, but you have peaceful people who are walking around just saying, hey, we want to find out what's going on. We want to get to the bottom of the situation. You know, I know we hear a lot about the people threatening to burn things down and loot things, but we also have the peaceful people who just want to find out what's going on in their community.
Well, that's why the feds are infiltrating and trying to radicalize things, because they can demonize demonstrations while acting like they're the saviors from the local police. What's your take on the overall PSYOP?
Well, I think thus far, you know, it's been a real strong divide. They managed to get that racial divide in here pretty early, because we see episodes of police brutality that's not debatable. Like, for example, Kelly Thomas out in California, the guy was beat to death, you know, with cops standing over him over a course of 20 minutes. He's begging for his daddy to come and save him. And, you know, and there's nothing alleged about that. You know, there's a lot of questions, a lot of speculation about what happened to Mike Brown.
And by the way, they indicted those cops, but they got off, and they really shouldn't have gotten off. They should have gotten some prison time. And, of course, notice that guy's dad was a cop. So, see, cops are having their sons killed by crazy cops.
Yeah, I mean, you're not safe from the system. And like we were out here the original time back in August, and I was talking to some of the SWAT officers. I was like, you know, your kids have to live in this country too. You know, so if one day they want to come out here and protest about something they think is wrong or they think is right, you know, they have to deal with this police force. They have to deal with officers pointing rifles at them for just being in a crowd on a street in the United States of America. So hopefully the cooler heads will prevail. Go ahead, Alex.
What was it like for you when they were aiming M4s with real bullets at you when you're doing nothing and Joe's doing nothing, and then they're letting rioters operate a block away? Why do you think they were able to get the cops to just have such hatred for the press?
I think, you know what it is, a lot of it, they didn't want the story to be told, because the footage that we got the first night we got here, because Mike got shot on a Saturday, I believe it was, we got here that following Tuesday, and, you know, they're aiming guns at people in the crowd. And as far as I know, we broke that story. You know, they're putting laser dots on people's chest. And even though there are some local news outlets out there, I didn't see that on any local news, that they were aiming guns at people in the crowd until, you know, a couple of days later when, you know, CNN and the rest of the big boys came out here to play. So, you know, they don't want the press to get the story out. Of course, Al Jazeera, everybody knows that. I was right there when it happened. You know, they have the cameras, they have the lights set up, yelling, press, press. And I said, Mama, they don't care that you press. They want to shoot you. So, you know, you have to be concerned about things like that. Will it continue tonight? I don't know. Thus far, we have not had any conflicts with the police. There are multiple police agencies out here. This is where the county police are, but some of the smaller towns, they all have their cars rolling around here just in case something happens. So we'll be here to report it. Hopefully we won't have any static like we did last time, but we do have the infidel body armor. We're definitely thankful for that in case they start shooting at us again, in case they pull out some live ordnance. You know, of course, Joe Biggs got shot last time with a rubber bullet. And then, Joe, didn't they come out and say they didn't shoot any rubber bullets?
Yeah, they came out and said that in a press release by the St. Louis County Police that no rubber bullets were fired, no CS gas was used, no flashbangs, no baton rounds. And here we are.
Even though you picked up dozens of them, big old 50 caliber ones.
Whoever's in my office in the reporter room, I have on my desk a CS canister. Pick that up, run it into Alex. Because we brought that back from Ferguson, Missouri, but they said that was never used. The rubber bullets that Joe has, they said that.
I had to retweet a whole bunch of pictures on Twitter, and it's now gone viral because everyone's saying, oh, maybe they didn't use it. And I had to go and publish them again to show what's being used because they're still lying. It's November. This happened in August, and they still have the gall to lie about it again.
Yeah, they're lying about it. And remember the night I got tear gas, we all got tear gas, and they came out to all the people who were in the free speech zone and said, that's not tear gas. And then, some of the greatest footage that you'll never see on CNN, me and Joe, we had to run like 3 miles outside of the perimeter to get back to our car. And I'm like, man, let's just go. It's soaking wet. You know, I'm got snot dripping out my nose. And Joe walks up to to the CNN guy. I think the camera was off there on a commercial break or something. He's like, you guys are cowards. Tell him what you said, Joe.
I was like, you guys are a bunch of cowards. You're not reporting the truth. I'm like, you guys need to be real Americans. Do your job as a journalist. Report what's going on. Stop lying for these police officers. Stop lying for the government. And tell them that you're using these baton rounds. Let them know that you're shooting at journalists with rubber bullets.
Well, I was about to say, how can they cover up Ebola cases we know are in the U.S.? They're disappearing people. Because the Forbes writer said they all met and agreed before the press conference to lie. And that was even in Forbes. And confirming what we have eyewitnesses. And how do they cover up? They're busing the illegals in.
Hold on, Alex. We have a gentleman. Come on in here, sir. Now tell us what you were just telling us when you walked up here.
Well, I happened to observe a gentleman when he was speaking. I say, I can't believe that. I'm finna walk to my truck, and all the journalists and the newscasters that I ran into, they just been telling falsehood. They just steady lying, covering up for one another, and I can't believe that they steady asking questions like, what gonna happen after the verdict and such and such. Everybody know what's going on. Everybody know from the governor down what's going on to cover up and why they doing what they doing. To me, to be honest with you, I honestly think they're trying to incite a riot in St. Louis, Missouri. I guess it's for a revenue purpose. Or I don't know what it's for. But I can say this. What they doing is uncalled for, is injustice, and they steady lying because they won. They said it never was a call that came across the radio was the officer approached the gentleman in the streets. And now, 101 days later, you're saying that it was a call that came across the radio. So what is the truth? You know, the truth don't need no support. And one thing about it, I'm glad that these gentlemen out here expressing the truth, doing what need to be done. And shame on all the other newscasters that's in St. Louis, Missouri, the reporters that's not putting out the truth. And you got to deal with that consequence yourself because the blood is on everybody's hands.
Absolutely. Ask him his name.
Choose to lie.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Andre Anderson.
All right, good to talk to you. Steady lying. That's a good word to describe it. Jakari, we'll check in with you on the nightly news tonight. Breaking reports, Infowars.com. Fabulous job.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Jakari. All right, folks, we're going to end this hour. Come back, take some more calls. We're going to hold Rappaport until I'm done with Rhonda, Chad, Shamus, Ryan, Indico Kid, but we should get to him about 15 after or so on the global sterilization program. We're just trying to report all sides and the facts wherever they take us. And that's what we're doing here at Infowars.com. Briefly, we are selling out. In fact, I think it'll be sold out by tomorrow of the Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. And it looks like it'll be about 2 weeks till more of that is out. And we will be sold out in the next few days of Secret 12. We were able to get a little bit more of it in that'll be in next week, so I don't call that back ordered. But we are officially sold out of what's in stock. Though more will be done this week, so you can order that and expect about a 2-week delivery on that. And that'll be all the Secret 12 we have for the year, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want the new proprietary, what we believe is the best form of vitamin B12, super absorbable, it's InfoWarsLife.com, and your purchase supports the broadcast. InfoWarsLife.com. This is the time of year to really be taking it. Check it out for yourself and help support the transmission. Secret 12, Survival Shield X2, Oxy Powder, Super Male Vitality. It's all available at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Third hour coming up. Your calls and more. Stay with us.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.